So the next big part of the setup is built around JetEngine's Profile Builder. Let's go to JetEngine Profile Builder. Here we need to assign 3 pages: an account page, a user page, and a single user page. The last 2 will be public, while the account page will only be available to signed-in vendors. Before assigning anything, we actually need to create these pages in Elementor. But there's one important setting to change first. In Profile Builder, switch the template mode to Content. This way, all the subpages we add later will be rendered as sections inside one page instead of being separate pages. That makes the whole account area much cleaner and easier to manage. I'll start with the account page. This is the main place where a vendor will manage everything: their items, upcoming bookings, and booking-related settings. Thanks to the Profile Builder widgets, setting this up is very straightforward. I'll create a simple 2-column layout. In the left column, I'll add the Profile menu widget. For the context, I'll leave it set to Account. This widget automatically generates navigation links to all the account subpages we'll create later. Styling can be adjusted afterward, when we actually have those subpages in place. But for now, I'll just switch the links layout to vertical. We might already see one link here, as the account page has a default template. In the right column, I'll add the Profile Subpage Content widget. This widget acts as a placeholder. Once we create subpages, their content will be displayed here when a vendor clicks on the corresponding menu items. Finally, let's add a logout button. For the button link, we'll use the standard WordPress logout URL. This will log the user out when they are done with working on their profile. Let's create the 2 remaining top-level pages for the profile system. We've already done with the account page, so now we'll focus on the public ones. First, let's create the page for all users. I'll call this page Agents. Here I'll add a listing grid and reuse the vendor listing we already created earlier. Just like on the home page, I'll apply the custom users query that targets only users with the JetBooking vendor role. Next, let's create the single user page. I'll name this page Agent in singular. This page is meant to show information about one specific vendor. Inside this page, I'll add a few dynamic field widgets to output user data. For the vendor's name, the source should be set to user data. For any additional fields we created earlier, like occupation or user image from the meta box, the source needs to be metadata. Below that, I'll add a listing grid that shows properties created by this specific vendor. We'll reuse the same product listing we used on the home page, but this time we need a new custom query. I'll call it Vendor Items. The query type should be WooCommerce Products query, and in the general settings we need to set the author ID to the queried user ID macro. This way, the listing will automatically show only the products created by the vendor whose page we're currently viewing. Now let's go back to the Profile Builder dashboard, where we can assign the pages we've just created to their correct roles. Once that's done, we need to set up the internal pages for the account page. To do that, open the Account Page section in Profile Builder. This is where you'll see the list of account subpages. We don't really need the default main subpage, so I'll remove it and click Add New Subpage. For each page, we'll set a title. This is the label that will appear in the account menu, and a slug. After that, we click Create New Template. A pop-up will appear where we enter the template name that will be used for building the profile page and choose the template type. Here we select Elementor Template, then click Create Template. There's also an option to hide the subpage from the account menu. This can be useful if you want to reuse the template somewhere else but don't want it to appear as a menu item. Another important setting is role visibility. For example, pages related to managing properties should be visible to users with the JetBooking vendor role, but they don't really make sense for administrators who are not vendors, so we simply don't include the administrator role here. For this multi-vendor setup, these are the account subpages I'm going to create. First, user info. A simple page where a vendor can quickly view their own profile information. Then My Properties, which will show a list of the vendor's properties with links to edit each one. I'm also going to create a separate subpage called Edit Property. This page will contain a form for editing a property, but it won't be visible in the main account menu. The idea here is that this page should be only accessed from the My Properties listing. If we make it available directly in the menu, the form wouldn't know which property to edit, at least not in a clean or intuitive way. Opening it from a specific property listing makes that connection clear and easy for the vendor to understand. Next comes Add Property subpage, which will contain a form for creating a new booking item. After that, Booking Configuration, where vendors can adjust their global booking settings. Then Schedule Settings, used for setting working days and time availability. And finally, a booking calendar, which will display upcoming reservations in a visual way. Once all subpages are added, don't forget to click Save to apply the changes in the Profile Builder. At this point, we've only created empty templates. If we check the account page now, we'll see the menu labels on the left, but clicking them won't change anything yet, simply because there's no content inside those templates. To start filling them in, go to WordPress Dashboard, Templates, Save Templates, or Elementor Editor Templates. Here you'll see the templates for all the subpages we just created. Let's go through them in the same order. For the user info template, we can add dynamic field and dynamic image widgets to display data from the user profile.